Hey everyone, I'm Trevor and today we're at Disneyland to give you an October construction update, what's closed around both parks and downtown Disney. So let's get going. Today is Friday, September 26th, and we're going to be filming for the month of October, taking a look at the refurb calendars, and we're going to start over here in Frontierland with your favorite Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And we'll just turn the camera on a little early. We'll give you some highlights and updates from the construction that we can see, just so you can see what everything looks like. You saw the front there all blocked off, and then they've got the exits all blocked off over here as well. Otherwise, not a whole lot of like construction walls up and around here. But then over here, they still do have the train out in a tarp on the track. It's been out here for a couple of weeks now, and they must be doing something with the station where these are housed. Otherwise, I would expect them to be housed rather than out on the track, but they are still out here. As we previously announced, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad closed on Tuesday, September 2nd, and currently has no known reopening date. The ride did have an ending date on the refurb calendar for a day or two earlier this month, but that was quickly changed to once again an unknown date in the future. What happened? Well, usually when a ride goes down for refurbishment, Disney has to input a start date and an end date for the refurbishment. So even though the calendar only shows 6 weeks, there is an end date for each attraction input into Disney's system. They just aren't showing you what that end date is. If the end date that is listed for the ride becomes visible on the 6-week calendar, then it will show as coming off. However, when Disney inputs arbitrary placeholder dates because they don't know the true end date, they have to then extend it. Does that make sense? Or they have to move that arbitrary date to another arbitrary future date. We saw this happen a lot with Pixie Hollow when it was closed for quite a few months on end. You remember I would always say, oh, well, it says it's coming off this month, but I'm not holding my breath. Because it would just go right back on, it would get extended again. This just means that Disney didn't update the end date before it became visible. And it likely took the internet going into a tizzy about it to remind them that they needed to go update it. Because anytime a ride comes off, usually somebody's saying something about it, and then Disney notices, and, oh, maybe we should extend that because it's not going to be opening then. In a perfect world, they have someone paying attention to these dates and updating them before this ever happens, so it doesn't create this like false sense of hope for visitors. But we all know this isn't a perfect world. Here's a quick current look at our next attraction, Casey Jr. Circus Train. We still have a sign here that says Casey Jr. Circus Train is closed today and on track to return soon. And they got the entire area walled off. I have no further updates here or with Storybook Land Canal boats. This ride closed on Monday, July 28th and still has no known reopening date. It's now been closed for 2 months and will continue to be closed at least another 6 weeks. The refurb calendar is currently posted through Friday, November 7th as of the time of this filming, and they are both still listed as being closed throughout the entire duration. Given the length of this refurb, there's always a possibility that we'll come off early. You guys usually ask me that all the time. Will this ride come off early? Not necessarily about this attraction, but we're just speaking about refurbishments in general. Usually for known duration refurbs, like when a ride is closed for maybe 4 to 6 weeks or less, the dates are usually pretty hard and fast, although there's still exceptions, as Radiator Springs Racers was set to reopen today, Friday, September 26th, but it actually opened up yesterday, Thursday, September 25th. So that one did open up a day early. Opening up early does happen on occasion, even whenever there are hard and fast dates, but usually speaking, like, I wouldn't expect any more than a day. And even then, I wouldn't get your hopes up too much, just to set the proper expectation that it really may go until the date it's actually supposed to open. However, for these lengthier refurbs, Disney has been known to suddenly just update the refurb calendar and give us an earlier opening date. So even though it's at 6 weeks right now, we may get a reopening date of October 24th. Randomly at some point. I mean, that's an arbitrary date. I just pulled that out of thin air. I don't have any insider info. In fact, if I had to guess, and it is a guess, all 4 attractions that are currently scheduled to be closed on Friday, November 7th, that is the furthest date out that we can see on the calendar, will likely reopen on Friday, November 14th for the start of the Christmas season. That includes the 3 rides that we've just looked at and one more ride that we're going to talk about next. Routinely, Christmas is the one time of the year where the least amount of things are closed. We're approaching my 3rd year doing construction updates, and the last 2 Decembers have been the months with the least amount of closures. sometimes there aren't even any rides closed at all. And just to make things clear, I'm not promising that this December will have no rides closed at all. It's just my experience with seeing things in the past. It's a Small World is currently set to close on Thursday, October 30th, and is expected to reopen on Friday, November 14th, though that date is not yet visible on the refurb calendar. I do feel 99.9% confident in that reopening date, as it is the first day of the Christmas season at Disneyland, and the reason for this closure is to make its annual transition to It's a Small World holiday. This is a standard 2-week closure that happens every single year. Just to give you a heads up, It's a Small World and Haunted Mansion will both close for refurbishment sometime in early January to make the change back to their classic versions. The dates are a little ambiguous as they will sometimes stagger the closures, but the first possible date for closures will be on Thursday, January 8th, as the Christmas season officially runs through January 7th. So be sure to visit before then if you want to guarantee your shot at seeing both of their holiday overlays. Just take a quick, brief break from this video to say hello to the Millers.
Hey, what's up?
We've got Chris, Carrie, Lindsay, and Alyssa. Oh, my finger's not finding the right one. There we go. It's pleasure hanging out with them here today. I've been watching all of their cruise videos because we told you guys we're headed on some Disney cruises here soon, and we've been watching their videos more than anybody else. I found out they were coming to Disneyland. I said, hey, can we meet up? And we've just been hanging out for the last half hour, 45 minutes or so. It's just been really awesome getting to know them.
Yep.
Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you so much for all your videos, your planning. Like I said, I can't understate how much you've helped us.
It was a huge help for us to watch so many other people's videos before we went on our first Disney cruise, and so for us it's like returning the favor to so many others, other content creators. So that makes us so happy to hear when our videos and our content help others, and for sure you guys.
So if you guys are interested in a lot of cruise content, definitely check out Adventures in Millerland. Their channel is awesome. And they do other things too. In fact, they've got Walt Disney World videos, they've got Disneyland videos. You're filming today, aren't you?
Yeah.
A little bit? Yeah, so you can be on the lookout for a Disneyland video coming as well. So definitely check out their channel. As far as the entertainment schedules go and things like that, October should be very similar to what I shared for September. So you can go back and check out that video if you're interested in exact dates and functionality of a lot of those things. But just off the top of my head, the general way that it works is that fireworks will only run on weekends, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, except for on special days during the week and things like that. And then they'll usually run limited, World of Color will only have one showing instead of two. The hours are going to be shortened. Hours aren't going to go all the way to midnight. In fact, I think they're shortened to 11. And then Fantasmic probably won't run 2 Fantasmics. They may, I don't know. I didn't exactly look at the calendar beforehand, but just be aware that during what we call the off season between summer and Christmas, they are going to have modified schedules when it comes to things like fireworks, parades, and evening entertainment. So as I always like to share, make sure you're checking the entertainment calendar for whenever you're going to come, because it's subject to change on any given day of the week. So just look at the dates that you're coming, and you'll be able to get the exact time frames for a lot of these things whenever you visit. I actually did just look it up and check a few dates just to share it with you. And I'm glad that I did, because I forgot that Fantasmic does not run during the week, during the off season either. That was something that I checked several Wednesdays and Thursdays in October. Nope, no Fantasmic, only Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just like the fireworks. Projections during the week, they'll still run the show, just no fireworks. They'll run it with projections. There still is 2 showings of Fantasmic on the weekends, but then World of Color does only have 1 showing over at DCA, because DCA closes at 9 p.m. And don't forget that if it is an Oogie Boogie Bash Day, DCA closes at 6 p.m. That's typically Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays for regular day guests. If you have a special event ticket, you can get in and stay through 11 o'clock. But for day ticket guests, it closes at 6. And even for special event ticket guests, there is no World of Color. There is no special Oogie Boogie Bash World of Color that runs during that event. We've popped over to DCA now, and I had to switch to my iPhone because it is actually starting to rain. And the last time I filmed with my Osmo Pocket 3 in the rain, I almost broke it. So if you notice any like visual or audio differences, that's because I'm on my iPhone for the rest of the video. I also did not bring my stabilization stick, so it might be a little bumpier because I'm just holding my phone. Another consequence of switching to my iPhone is that I can no longer look at my notes. I take copious notes for these types of videos because it's important that I get details correct. And so we're just gonna try to fudge some of this a little bit as best I can here. Mickey's PhilharMagic is one of those things that we talked about over here at DCA. It is currently set to close on Monday, October 6th, and is scheduled to reopen on Friday, October 31st. Mickey's PhilharMagic, of course, being the musical presentation and show here on Sunset Boulevard here in Disney California Adventure. Last month, we shared with you that a permit was filed to update some of the projection equipment here in the attraction. We didn't know if it would go down at all in order to make that change, or if it did go down, how long it would take. And then between when I said that and when I edited it, we did get a closing date. So I believe I edited that into the video. However, now we do have a reopening date, so it is going to be closed for a little over 3 weeks. And I don't exactly know like the scope of what they're doing here outside of what that permit was filed for. They may be doing more, they may not. I'm not sure, but suffice it to say, it's going to be closed for a couple of weeks in the month of October, and will reopen on Friday, October 31st. As I do every month, we will continue making mention of Monsters, Inc. until it is no longer here. If this is your first construction update that you've seen of mine, I want you to be aware that Monsters, Inc., Mike and Sully to the Rescue, will be closing permanently in early 2024. We don't have exact dates, but I expect it to be sometime in January. So if you want to make sure that you can ride this attraction, be sure to visit sometime this year. Don't put it off until January. It may be closed by the time you come in January, unless you're coming during the Christmas season, which is before January 7th. What are they doing? They are replacing this whole, like tearing this whole area out, and they are expanding into the bus terminals that are outside the park, and they're putting in the Avatar expansion here. So there's going to be, they said it's experience, but I think they've also promised a ride. Details on that are still sort of fuzzy, but this whole area is going to be turned into an Avatar land. And yeah, Monsters, Inc. will be going bye-bye in early 2026. I just want to provide some updates on some other things that we recently mentioned in construction updates. Disney filed some permits to add in more water bottle refill stations, and this restroom by Monsters, Inc. is one of those that is supposed to be getting one. As of right now, they do not have it. Still just 2 water fountains right there. No water filling refill station over here as of yet, but they just filed the permits. That didn't say when they were going to do it, and that's not going to appear in any refurb calendar because it's just a quality of life upgrade. It is not going to affect guest experience. Nothing is closing as a result of that, and so yeah, we don't know exactly when that will happen, but they have filed permits for it. And then a few months ago, permits were filed for this area, the old Fast Pass distribution area, to be converted and turned into a seating area for nearby PIM Test Kitchen. Clearly it has not been done yet. They have not made any sort of conversion. Sometimes Disney files permits and then they don't actually ever do anything. The permit is more like, we have this idea, we're just going to get it passed just to make sure that if we do want to do it, we can do it. But sometimes they don't always actually follow through on those permits. So nothing as of yet over here by PIM Test Kitchen. There are always seating issues with this restaurant because they have so very few seating in the actual like restaurant area, and every time I've always tried to find a table, they are completely full. However, since then they have updated their external seating outside the restaurant this direction, and as you can see, I don't know if I pointed this out before, but they do have tables over here now just outside the grounds of the restaurant, and this is seating for PIM Test Kitchen. And then over here in front of the Shawarma Palace, I feel like these tables are relatively new-ish in the last couple of months as well. So if you are having a whole lot of hard time finding seats for PIM Test Kitchen, you can come over to Shawarma Palace and borrow their seating as well. And it's entirely possible after making those changes that they determined that those changes were sufficient enough to take care of the seating issues, and that they scrapped the idea to re-theme that one area into seating, because they do use it for stroller parking, as well as you saw those shops that they have where they're selling like hot dogs and pretzels and things. And the final in-park ride, or rather attraction closure that we're gonna have for the month of October is going to be the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail. Actually, it's not until the month of November, but since the refurb calendar goes out to November 7th, we're gonna cover this in this month anyway. And the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail is going to close the very next day after the end of October. That is Saturday, November 1st. Because right now it is used as Villains Grove in the evening during Oogie Boogie Bash, and the final Oogie Boogie Bash event is going to be on Friday, October 31st. Even though it is not the typical Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, they always have an Oogie Boogie Bash on Halloween itself, and so that this year is Friday, October 31st. And the day after, this will close to transition out of Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, the Villains Grove, and into Redwood Creek Challenge Trail Santa's Visit. And the Santa's Holiday Visit, I think is the official term of it, is of course the Christmas overlay of the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail. Try saying that so many times fast. I'm starting to trip over my words there. But I expect this to open no later than Friday, November 14th. In fact, I wouldn't expect it to open any earlier than that because it's not Christmas yet. So again, even though we don't have the end date as of yet, I can speak with pretty good confidence that this will reopen on Friday, November 14th with the start of the Christmas season. Again, this is a expected annual regular closure as they update it for all of the Christmas stuff that they have in here. Just to put this on your radar, Grizzly River Run usually goes down for its annual refurb in January, whenever the Christmas season is over, because it's the colder times of the year and people are going to be less likely wanting to ride it then anyway. I don't have exact dates, nor do I remember exactly how long it lasts, but there's a good chance that it also will go through February, parts of February, May, even not reopen until March. It's usually closed for a good chunk of time during the coldest times of the year. And they got the geysers going today. When I rode this the other day for our Oogie Boogie Bash ride challenge, that big geyser right there was not going. And it's little right now, but it can shoot up just as high as the other one off to the left. And it really will soak you if that happens. They've also got like fog going on right now. The fog was not going on the other day either. Time to go through downtown Disney now. The rain has stopped, but I'm going to continue filming on my iPhone just so you don't have to like mess with your audio again if this is somehow louder than the other one. But Earl of Sandwich still here. Still here. What did I say last month? I think I said that this may be open clear up until the other one on the west end ends up opening, the Carnaby Tavern. I have no idea. This was supposed to close back in July. Here we are 2 months later, and it is still open. Earl of Sandwich. Don't know when they're going to start construction on Porto's here. But as much as I love Earl of Sandwich, can they get a move on? Because Porto's is awesome. We did it for the first time back in June, and man, I cannot wait till they have one of those at downtown Disney. And right there, so easily accessible to both parks. Man, that's going to be fantastic. The Sunglass Hut is still under construction as they're renovating over here at downtown Disney. This does not appear on the refurb calendar, so I do not know when this is going to reopen. I don't know why it doesn't appear on the refurb calendar, because they've had things like the Lego store on the refurb calendar before in the past when it has been closed for refurbishment. But Sephora didn't appear on the refurb calendar either when they were doing renovations. It's open now, but I guess they just don't always show those things on the downtown Disney refurb calendar. No further vertical progress here at the site of the future Arthur and Sons and Pearl's Roadside Barbecue. It's been a couple of months, and this is another one of those things where just nothing is happening. Thought I'd give you an update though. The update is nothing. This is another one of those items that there's construction walls up, but I don't remember how long they've been up. I come up here way too frequently to remember when these walls first appeared. I do remember telling you in a previous update though, so at least a month, that they were going to be updating the Lego displays on the exterior of the building. I feel like we're going on 2 months now. Clearly no visible progress with this. These ones are still here. The Toy Story one is still here, and then the Beauty and Beast one on the other side of that construction wall is, well, we can't even see it, so they might have torn it out, but they haven't replaced it with anything, at least nothing that's visible above the construction wall. So again, I feel like not a whole lot of progress going on here at downtown Disney. Monorail! sometimes I include food in these videos, and we have not eaten at Soul Sister in the Parkside Markets in a really long time. In fact, since like opening weekend. So we're gonna come in here and we are going to give it a try again. So this place isn't nearly as popular as it was opening weekend. There's a lot of empty tables in here, a lot of open spots. And in fact, they have two different restaurants in here, Soul Sister and Gigi's Chicken Shop. And they have two registers at each one, but 3 of them are listed as closed. And so you have to order over there for both restaurants. And then they give you a pager, and after it buzzes, you go back up to Gigi's to pick up your food. Even though I'm ordering food from Soul Sister, I've got to go over to Gigi's to pick up my food. And I'm pretty sure before you would set the buzzer on your table and they would bring the food to you. So they've definitely changed a lot of the processes and procedures for both of these restaurants here at the Parkside Markets. And here it is, my beef bowl. They do have a beef and egg, but I just got the beef bowl. I think it looks really good. It's nice and hot, very, very warm to the touch, and I'm excited to dive into this. Food was pretty good. The meat was nice and warm. The rice was nice and warm. Kimchi was cold, like came right out of the refrigerator, which I mean, I suppose it makes sense. It's got leafy greens in there and probably cabbage, actually. So, and then there was lettuce in there as well that wasn't quite as cold as the kimchi, but you know, that was more the temperature of what I would be expecting, like standard room temperature lettuce to go along with it. Overall, very good flavoring. Definitely would recommend. I do like Soul Sister. As far as progress down here at the Carnaby Tavern, I don't remember the scrim being all the way up before, and so I can't really even see anything now, but it doesn't seem any further along by like the shadows that we can see. Doesn't seem any further along than it was the last couple of times I've done the updates. So I feel like all the construction in downtown Disney, all of it, is at a standstill currently. Even the progress over here at the old ESPN building doesn't seem like it's any further along either. And that's going to be it for us here today at Disneyland, giving you an October construction update. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you got questions about anything in this video or any other video, go ahead and drop them in the comments below. I'm always happy to answer them. Click this video to check out more of my Disneyland content. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time.